Good day and welcome to Alena Media TV. We are broadcasting from Toronto, Canada. I am Elsa Abraham, and in this episode we are bringing you African news. Here is your headlines. Renaissance Dam, Sudan responds to Ethiopia's threat, prepares for the worst. And in our next story, Sudan officer killed in Ethiopia border attack. In our last story, Ethiopia Rights Commission's latest report on Tigray sheds light on sexual violence, child casualties. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get our news in details. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. Now, Sudan has started preparing for worst-case scenarios regarding the Renaissance Dam file, especially after Ethiopian officials revealed their country's intention to complete the second filling of the dam. Ethiopia has not yet reached an agreement with Sudan and Egypt, which Khartoum considers a dangerous move concerning the Sudanese resource dam and the 20 million citizens living on the banks of the Nile. On Wednesday, Emirati newspaper Al Ruya quoted head of the technical department of Sudanese Ministry of Irrigation and Water Resources, Engineer Mustafa Hassan, stating that the Sudanese government is completely against filling the dam unilaterally, and Sudan has stipulated the signing of a binding legal agreement with Ethiopia. Hassan added that Ethiopia's unilateral decision to initiate the second filling of the dam next July will directly affect the reservoirs, dam, and all activities in the Blue Nile. It will also hinder hydroelectric generators of the resource reservoir and the Momirove Dam, the drinking water stations of the Blue Nile and the main Nile, as well as having a negative impact on irrigation projects. Above all, it will pose a threat to lives and safety of around half of the Sudanese population living on the banks of the Blue Nile. The newspaper also quoted media official of the Ministry of Irrigation, Osama Abu Shanab, confirming that filling the Ethiopian Renaissance Dam threatens the life of 20 million Sudanese who live in the banks of the Nile and jeopardizes the facilities located on the main Nile up to Atbara. According to hydrologist Ahmed Al-Mufti, despite the mediation of the most influential parties, the US and the World Bank, Ethiopia has rejected the proposed draft. Al-Mufti cites that the only alternative is to stop negotiations and withdraw from the declaration of principles on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam to prove the illegality of the activities undertaken in the Renaissance Dam and refer to the issue to the United Nations Security Council. Al-Mufti added that no negative repercussions can emanate from withdrawing from the declaration of principles because this move comes as a result of Ethiopia's violation of the pact, especially as the first filling was done unilaterally without conducting the studies specified by the declaration and the failure to complete the dam safety supplement stipulated by Principle Number 8 of the agreement. The aspect reiterated Sudan's participation in managing the dam could be a solution if the necessary conditions are met, the first of which is issuing the provisions of the joint management mechanism with the consensus of the representatives of the three countries. Additionally, the joint management agreement should be worded very accurately and issued under a UN Security Council resolution in accordance with Chapter 7, with the presence of international guarantors and extremely deterrent measures if Ethiopia breaches the agreement, including freezing of the operation of the dam by an order of the UN Security Council. Moving on to our second story for today, Sudanese officer killed in Ethiopia border attack. A Sudanese military officer was killed in an attack by Ethiopian forces near the eastern borders Forces from the Amara region ambushed Monday a unit of the 17th Division of the Sudanese Army in Jebel Halawa area between the Serna and the Kadarif states as it was patrolling the border, military sources said. They said the patrol leader, who was an officer with the rank of lieutenant, was killed. Sources told the Sudan Tribune newspaper that Ethiopia was deploying heavily armed troops towards Kadarif state near the border Sudan. In 2018, Sudanese military fought battles in the foreign region, forcing Ethiopian troops to retreat to about 7 kilometers. Addis Ababa later questioned the internationally recognized borders between Sudan and Ethiopia, which were marked according to a 1902 agreement. Tensions have been high along the border since December 2020, with an intermittent clashes erupting with Sudanese armed forces reclaimed agricultural territories in the fertile Al-Fashaq region, which had been under Ethiopia's control since 1995. Meanwhile, Ethiopian refugees continue to flee from Tigray region despite the official announcement of the end of military operations there. About 67,000 Ethiopian refugees arrived in Sudan since the civil war erupted in the region, according to the Sudan Commission for Refugees. It's noted that most of them are women and children, and the Sudanese authorities have sent them to a number of refugee camps in Sudanese territory. The displaced have tied their return to their country to the removal of the ruling regime in Addis Ababa, headed by Abiy Ahmed, a Nobel Peace Prize winner. A European Union delegation headed by Finnish Foreign Affairs Minister Pekka Haavisto, accompanied by the High Commissioner for Refugees and representatives of the Sudanese Ministries of Defense and Foreign Affairs, visited the refugee camps. Refugees there told the Western officials they refused to return to Ethiopia in light of the regime's continued attack on Tigray. Sudanese authorities informed the delegation and the authorities were struggling to contain the large number of refugees, requesting international assistance to provide their need, as well as those of the Sudanese people who have been affected by the influx. And in our last story for today, Ethiopian Rights Commission's latest report on Tigray shed light on sexual violence and child casualties. The Ethiopian Human Rights Commission stated that the slow progress of efforts to restore the infrastructure and to fully resume social and administrative services in Tigray region is exposing residents and internally displaced persons to further human rights violations. The commission was released the findings of its monitoring and investigation mission in the region, which took place from January 10th to January 23rd, 2021. The mission talked to military and civilian leadership, as well as residents, health sector workers, affected persons, and internally displaced persons in various temporary shelters in Mekelle City. The war and the dismantling of the regional administration have led to a rise in gender-based violence in the region. Information obtained from health professionals and the Regional Health Bureau indicates that 52 instances of rape in Mekelle, 22 in Adigrat, 7 in Wukro, and 27 in Ardeyu. A total of 108 have been reported to health facilities over the past 2 months alone. The commission have also received reports of loss of lives, bodily and mental injury, instances of gender-based violence, looting, and other human rights violations, including in the areas of Tigray, which it has not been able to access yet. The continued disruption of many infrastructural and other services, including banking, has limited the movement of food, medical items, and other basic goods. It has also hindered the full resumption of health services and law enforcement. Local structures such as police and health facilities where victims of sexual violence would normally tend to report such crimes are no longer in place. Hence, there is a possibility that the actual number of cases might be higher and more widespread than the reported cases. In the past 2 months alone, 108 cases of rape have been reported in Mekelle, Ida, Adigrat, and the Wukro hospitals. While the Commission has noted some improvement in terms of provision of humanitarian assistance in Mekelle and other areas that it has visited, significantly more effort is still required to meet the extent of humanitarian need on time. People displaced to Mekelle from other parts of the region still face a shortage of food, clean water, and insignificant provision of health services. The ongoing security situation in some parts of Tigray and ongoing disruption to health services has forced injured persons and families of injured persons to walk long distances to get medical help. When the Commission visited Ida Hospital inpatient wing for children, 16 of the 20 children being treated for trauma had sustained injuries as a result of the war. Some of the hospitalized children have lost at least a body part or suffered another form of bodily injury. Medical professionals also confirmed that one of the main reasons for injuries to children in particular are landmines and hand grenades left lying on the ground. 3 children aged 3, 5, and 7 were also being treated at the hospital and described that their housing was hit by a projectile explosive and killed all the people in the house and injured the 3 of them. Their father has been missing since then. The EHRC Chief Commissioner Daniel Bekele has said that while there are many indications and reports of the scale of human rights violations occurring in Tigray region, the comprehensive overview of the full extent of its impact on civilians is still hindered by the security situations. The Commission will continue its monitoring work and carry out investigations while reiterating the Commission's previous calls with regards to the loss of lives and internal displacement resulting from the war. He strongly urged that for a more focused and immediate action to put a stop to the alarming and deplorable human rights violations caused by gender-based violence and injuries to children. This is where we end today's episode on African News. Make sure you like, share, comment. Let us know your thoughts on this particular episode. Thanks for watching.